What's up, beautiful people? It has been a hot minute since I have been live with you. So, and it's really early. I usually don't go live this early, but we're trying new things today. Actually, not new things, but anyway, look, I got new ink. You guys probably haven't seen me do live streams with that. Still have short hair, still loving it. Anyway, so I was just gonna jump on and say what's up and share something, at least a couple things. Obviously, like you guys know, I'm being pretty public about grieving and really just making space for that. And while I was talking with my coach, I don't know what day it was, Thursday, Wednesday, something like that, last week, and I was just like, I think what we don't realize is when we go through something really hard or we lose somebody, everything else feels really raw, right? So I was talking about other things and it felt really raw. And so we were just discussing different things with my business and like shit like that. And she was like, how do you go back to when you felt that way or when life was like that or when your business was like that? Good morning, Miss Emily. And in that thought, like, basically, I believe that one of the things that we do when we reflect, right, on what's working and what's not, when we do our planning and shit like that, we're able to then notice, okay, what can if something's working or we like the way something makes us feel, then how can we recreate that thing, right? Like, so we have more of what that brought us. Like, can we recreate it? Is that possible? And you know, when it's our own lives, of course, sometimes it's just like a different process of recognizing that. But we were discussing it as far as my branding and like what I have, how I'm running my company. And there was a time back in the day when I lived in my little McNulty house in Florissant that I really just was like my most enthusiastic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, so I got confused for a second there because I was like trying to curl this. I try to curl the bottom layer like every other way. I swap it and then sometimes I get confused. Anyways, so with that being said, like we were discussing different stuff, like what was different then, like what was different and what could I recreate? And what I wanted to say here was like, it's funny because I think that sometimes we think, okay, I've grown so much or I've moved forward on from these things and I'm in this other spot in life. And I think sometimes we fail to recognize that recreating parts of our lives or things that made us happy or that were really good for us or whatever doesn't mean you're going backwards. It doesn't mean like, because you are a totally different person. Like I'm a totally different person than I was, 5 years ago, like for real, in so many ways. And so we were talking about like, okay, what can I recreate? And I thought it was a really cool way of thinking about stuff, right? And how it really does fit into practice or into like, what's the word? It fits right in with the stuff I always talk to you guys about, or I talk to my clients about, is because we do so much reflection of, okay, that we didn't like that, so why and how can we, avoid that happening or get the same result without that thing or whatever it is, right? But then we're looking at how can I get back some of that. So I'll just give you some like real life examples so that if that is something that, you might want to do, you can kind of have a real life example. So for me, it was very much like, when I was living in McNulty, that's when I hired my personal trainer. That's when I had like my viral videos. That's when I had a lot of my publishing deals all happened around that time frame. Like, things were just a little different. And what was funny was somewhere along the way, I got really deep into some like strategy, air quotes. If my hands weren't busy, I'd be air quoting, into like this idea of what strategy is supposed to be or how I was supposed to do whatever it was, right? And so it lost some of its oomph to me. And during that time frame, I also walked away from a couple of pretty big parts of my brand, very intentionally. But of course, everything changed. My audience changed. Who I was hanging out with changed. It was just different. So anyway, thinking about that time, like none of that other stuff fucking matters. It doesn't matter that I've moved on from, you know, some of those learning experiences or whatever. That's irrelevant to this conversation of today, of how can I bring back some more of that inner focus and then some of that enthusiasm, right? In a different way than it was then, because of course now I have a lot of different stuff going on in my health and my head is different and all this shit. So anyway, so I picked two things. One was getting ready before I do my morning routine, which is here we are, getting ready before I do my morning routine, so that when I have words to say to you, I can just pop on live like I am right now, which was like, if you've been around for a long time, Emily, I know you're here and you know that that's the OG Jamie way, right? OG Jamie just jumps on when she's got shit to say, and that's what we do. So that was definitely a big part of it. The other thing was the gym, y'all. Like, since I moved back from Iowa, my focus has been on some deep healing, right? So, and I'm so grateful. And I was able to do so much physical healing and finally able to gain weight for the first time in my life and get to a healthy weight and all of this stuff. And then I got sicker. And anyway, now I'm in a spot where I can really build and, you know, I get to experience it in a very different way, but there's like a lot of fear around that because holy smokes, what if I get sick again and yada, yada. And so I have a full gym here in my current house. And I just cannot get motivated to do workouts here. I can get motivated to do yoga, but that's it. So anyway, I was playing through this whole thing. Here's a good like little tidbit lesson for somebody. So I was realizing that, thank you, Emily, I appreciate you. I was realizing that I was like in my head, I'm going, okay, I'm going to join Club Fitness because that's where the girls go. So like my two best friends go to this Club Fitness. I really don't want to work out at Club Fitness, y'all. Like, I have no desire to work out at Club Fitness. But I had made this, like, rule in my head that, or this, like, justification in my head, which is old Jamie shit, as to why I was going to join that gym because it made sense because my friends were there and blah, blah, blah. Even though I really don't want to go there. And here's the truth. So where I'm at, where I live, nothing is close. So, like, the closest gym is 25 minutes away. So the gym I don't want to go to really is 25 minutes away. And then the gym that I really want to go to is 30 minutes away. It's also just more expensive. But it's also in the part of town that I'd rather spend my time. So, like, anyway, it's all a good thing. So I ended up joining, over the weekend, joining Lifetime Fitness, which was one of the great things that came out of my life in Iowa, was we joined Lifetime Fitness there. And I was obsessed. Like, what a fucking awesome place. And so they're all very similar, the locations. So anyway, I joined the one here. And so that's what I'm working on. Is like, okay, so we get up, we get ready before we do other things. So that's what we're doing here. And focus on just doing life. That's what we do. But also getting back in the gym. What's going to be interesting about it this time, and obviously you guys know I'm going to bring you along for the ride. But what I think is going to be really interesting about it this time is that I know what I'm doing now. I'm not like, I have no idea what I'm doing in the gym person, so I don't need to necessarily hire a trainer, and I don't plan on it. But it's going to be cool. And the other reason I like Lifetime Fitness is they have a badass yoga schedule. Like, they have 3 to 4 yoga classes every single day. It's great. And they have like amazing amenities, like spa-like amenities for super relaxation shit. And their cafe, it's like a co-working fucking space for me. So it's just all in all a really great investment, and I'm really excited. But it was cool because, you know, I think for some reason there was this part of me who was like, okay, I'm going to go back to whatever thing was. And it's like, no. You're just pulling together pieces. You guys might remember, oh my God, if I could put this earring on, we would be in good shape. There was a time that I taught you guys about, or told you guys about this thing that my coach had taught me called, gratitude pulling. And so you would kind of do like this time travel-y kind of thought process where you're pulling gratitude moments on the thread from when you felt them the first time to where you feel them now, or to where you can bring more of them into the now. So that's kind of the idea, is it's not like, oh, I'm going to go backwards. It's like, no. I want more of that. How do I pull more of that towards me? So that's the same thought process. It's like really focusing, okay, I really love this energy. Every day at 3 o'clock, I went to the gym and lifted weights, and that was the top priority. blah, 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 blah. How do I create that again, right? So it's not, how do I go back into that headspace? How do I go back into this? Like, no, no, no. How do I pull that back forward and go from there? And so that's what I'm doing. Instead of trying to say I'm going to try to recreate, 2000 friggin', what was that, like 17, 16? I don't even remember. Because Gold's Gym is closed, so I couldn't do that if I wanted to. And instead of trying to do that, it's like, no, we're going to pull the gratitude moments, pull the pieces that we love back from that and recreate pieces that can bring forth a similar feeling in the now. And so that's what I'm doing with that. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but that is the thought process. That is the plan. I'm obsessed with this new hair. Let's just talk about that for a second. It's so much fun. Anyways, so that's the plan. That's what we're doing. And I thought it was a really cool thought process. And you guys know that I like to bring you along a lot on those thought processes because I feel like that's where every person has their like little golden nuggets about what was the whole conversation, and parts you might pull from that can benefit you or value you in your world, right? Like, how can I do that in my own life and not feel like, okay, well, I'm trying to like go back in time. It's like, no, that's not it. This is a whole new experience, right? Like, good for you, Emily. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm happy for you. So like the thought, oh, I should not be touching my hair. I just put lotion on my hands. Anyway, so I'm going to get about Mac for a hot second, but like, so I did not get I don't know if I would have gotten the answers I finally got about my health and gotten a solution to something that's been it had been bothering me and been an issue for 25 years. And I got an answer when Mac got cancer. Cause I basically just it hit me as like at my breaking point. And I finally got to do good doctors that got me an answer. And then I started to feel better, and then I had a bunch of testing, which like threw me for a loop. And then I ended up getting better just in time for him to get sick, right? And need rehab and need all of this nursing care. So it's like I haven't experienced life without my symptoms and without a huge life-altering thing to consume all of my time. So I promised myself when Mac died that I would not do the gift that he gave me, I'm not going to cry, a disservice by going backwards in any way or by squandering, the hard shit that we went through over the past summer, like the lessons that were learned there and the gifts that were given to me from that dog in my life, in his lifetime, obviously were huge, but particularly with like helping me find an answer, like I don't believe in coincidences, and it's just too obvious that all transpired the way that it did for a reason that was beyond me and bigger than me. And so I refuse to squander it. So I am doing my best to take my time and look around and make the best out of this new experience. Of course, it sucks that he's not here, but I also know that life has to continue, right? So that's what we're both, we're doing in this house in general. So yeah, so it's motivating. It's like in an ugly way kind of, but also in the best way. So yeah, that's kind of a part of this whole conversation really, is where a lot of the like pause and reflect before doing anything kind of came from. So that's where now I'm pulling that string from past experiences and pulling it into new experiences that I know I want to bring now in the here and now, to recreate some of the stuff that I had then, that I want now. So that's really what we're doing. And I'm going to spray my face real quick. So I am going to go do a shitload of running around because I'm hosting Thanksgiving and I have a bunch of stuff to do before everybody comes on Thursday. So I'm going to go deal with that. But thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I got a bunch of new tripods, so they're sitting everywhere so that I can pop on when I need to again. And that's what we'll be doing. So thank you guys for watching. Anybody who just jumped on, you might want to rewatch because I did say lots of good things. And if you're here and you like this video, please, as always, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And if you think anyone else needs to hear the message, go ahead and send it on over. And thank you for being here. Go out into the world and be a good human. And I'll see you later. Bye.